15 things that make anxiety worse. Stop doing these today and your anxiety will improve. Let's get started. The first one, guys, you are constantly seeking reassurance from outside sources. This is called external reassurance. What is missing? Internal reassurance. If you want to get past anxiety and you want it to get better and you want to recover, you have to rely on yourself to feel safe. You have to rely on yourself to feel validated. You have to stop constantly asking other people, am I good enough? Do you think everything's going to be okay? Am I safe? Your subconscious wants that from you. It craves that from you. So start developing that internal reassurance, that inner dialogue where you let your subconscious know when it's crying out via these symptoms that it's scared, that things are safe and that the symptoms are not needed. Build that relationship with your subconscious and things will start to get better. Number 2, Googling your symptoms will likely make your anxiety worse, all right? So you deal with some symptoms, you type them in on Google. I got news for you, all the worst stuff is gonna be at the top. And since you have a problem, obviously, with negative thinking, spiraling, catastrophizing, because now you're having these physical symptoms of anxiety, there's a good chance you're gonna believe all the horrific crap at the top. I was a victim to this, I guess by choice, over and over and over again. It was one of the last lessons that I learned. Stop Googling your symptoms. It's especially hard when you develop new symptoms. If they stick around for a little bit, seek professional help. Go to a doctor, let them be the one to tell you that you have this or that you have anxiety, right? And that you shouldn't worry. Stop trying to play doctor. You're gonna always see the worst things at the top. I would spend hours and hours going down so many different rabbit holes. There were so many times where I would read an article about MS or a heart problem and I would develop those symptoms mid-article while I was reading. That's how fast my brain acted. Stop Googling or your anxiety will continue to get worse. Number 3, constantly checking your vitals is likely going to make your anxiety worse. You are confirming that there's a good chance you're not healthy if you constantly check your vitals. Does a healthy person check their heart rate all day? No. Does a healthy person need to check their blood pressure 10 times a day? No. Same thing with oxygen, same thing with blood sugar. If a doctor told you to do so, that's different. If not, you're sending the wrong message to your subconscious and therefore you're gonna scare it into thinking that there's something wrong with your heart. And guess what kind of symptoms you're gonna get? Heart-related symptoms. Your heart rate's probably gonna go up. Your blood pressure's probably gonna go up. All the other symptoms that you have with your anxiety are probably gonna magnify because your subconscious is really scared because you're giving it a reason to be scared by constantly checking. Get away from checking your vitals. Number 4, avoiding things that cause you anxiety that you don't want to avoid for the rest of your life. We're talking about things like driving, going to school, going to work, being in social situations. I'm not talking about unhealthy triggers. I'm talking about things that trigger your anxiety that you want to be a part of your life. You get into the car, you have a panic attack the first time. What do you start doing? You start avoiding going into the car. Avoiding right after something bad happens when it comes to your anxiety where your symptoms flare up or you have a panic attack is the worst thing that you can do because you are confirming to your subconscious the car is dangerous or the workplace is dangerous or flying is dangerous. What's the best thing to do whenever you have a bad experience for the first time in one of these situations? You go right back to it the next day to show the subconscious that this is not dangerous, that you just had a bad day, and that things are better, right? That things are safe, that this environment is okay. Stop avoiding. Number 5, alcohol or drugs. We can get into the habit of trying to numb our anxiety. It happens all the time. It happened with me. I used alcohol to numb my symptoms. Sometimes it seemed like it was the only relief that I could get, but I am prolonging my anxiety. Over time, my anxiety is getting worse by going through this vicious cycle of drinking to numb my symptoms. Then the next morning, I would have horrible anxiety or anxiety hangovers. And if you've ever dealt with this, you know how nightmarish it can be. You wake up, you're dehydrated because of the drinking, and your panic attacks start in, your anxiety symptoms are tenfold, right? And then you find yourself wanting to drink even earlier to get these symptoms to stop. So ultimately, over time, trying to numb your anxiety with alcohol and drugs not only prolongs your anxiety, but over time, in my opinion, it makes things much worse. So if you are deep in alcohol and you have a problem with that, same thing with drugs, talk to your doctor and see if you can find out a plan that can help you get off of that. Number 6, sugar, all right? Sugar is not good for us in general, right? And I'm mainly talking about processed sugar here. Nothing wrong with a little bit of natural sugar, but processed sugar is just not good for the body. The body doesn't have too much of any use to it. But one of the reasons I think it's especially not good for people that have anxiety is because we are sensitive to everything that we put into our body, everything that we consume. So a sugar high can be really high. That could be a panic attack or an anxiety attack for somebody. Sugar low could be really low for an anxiety sufferer. Feeling lethargic, having feelings of depression, having fatigue, tiredness, weakness with a sugar low. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're not getting triggered by this, and the best way to do that, guys, is to start cutting it out. Added sugar is one of the easiest things to cut out. The beverages that you drink, guys, obviously things like soda, sweet tea, a lot of fruit juices that you think are healthy, right? Something like orange juice, for instance, tons of sugar. Apple juice, tons of sugar. Start looking at the labels and see how many grams of sugar is in this stuff. Even things like condiments, right? Ketchup. Look at the back of a ketchup bottle and look at how much sugar is in that. So start to go to sugar-free options. Try to start to cut these things out and start to see how you feel. Number 7, caffeine. For a lot of you, this is gonna make your anxiety worse. Your vitals can go up, your heart rate, your blood pressure, that can trigger you. If you have panic attacks, this can trigger anxiety attacks and panic attacks. So many people that I've talked to through coaching, their first issue with anxiety came about because they had a lot of caffeine, right? And they either had coffee, obviously. Soda is going to have caffeine plus the sugar, so it's like a double whammy. There's, believe it or not, a lot of people have actually gotten panic attacks from pre-workouts that have a lot of caffeine, and then obviously things like energy drinks, just terrible because they have the sugar and the caffeine. Try to start cutting this out. It's not to say that you can't enjoy coffee in the future. I have black coffee. I don't put sugar in it. I can have pretty much as I want, at least at a healthy level, and I don't get triggered anymore. But that's because I've recovered and I don't have anxiety. So don't think that you'll have to cut this out for the rest of your life, but while you're trying to improve right now, it's best to remove an unnecessary trigger like caffeine. The next one, guys, is nicotine. So we're talking about chewing tobacco, vaping, cigars, cigarettes, obviously. And for a lot of you, this is gonna be hard because sometimes you feel like it's actually relieving your anxiety. There may be a little bit of truth to that. I remember whenever I was a smoker, I'd go on a smoke break, especially if I was stressed out at work, and I would feel a little bit of relief. But then there were times that it would trigger the hell out of me because I was sensitive to my heart rate going up, my blood pressure, and that's what nicotine can do, right? So I had to quit smoking. Whenever I went to the ER one time for a panic attack that I thought was a heart attack, he asked me if I was smoking. He's like, you got to stop doing that. It's not good for your anxiety. And if you have health anxiety, you want to stop smoking in general because, yeah, it does put you at risk for obviously certain cancers and heart problems. And if you worry about cancer and heart problems, you're always going to doubt your health if you are smoking. So I had to get away from that. Then I started doing chewing tobacco, which is even more intense. Those of you that have done that, you know what that's like. But then there would be times that I was more sensitive to it and it would cause panic. So eventually I had to get away from that as well. So try to cut back on that and eventually get it to the point to where you're not reliant. But again, I know it's hard to quit things like nicotine. Number 9, you always wait until tomorrow to take action. And then guess what? Tomorrow comes and then it's gonna be, oh, tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll do it. Maybe you spend your whole day consuming material online, videos, right? You're reading articles on things that you can do for your anxiety, but you never take action. Your anxiety obviously is not going to get any better, and in fact, it's going to get worse. Every day that you wait until tomorrow, that's another day that your anxiety is worsening, okay? So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for a symptomless morning like I did. You will wait for years. Number 10, you respond in fear whenever you have symptoms. This may be one of the hardest things for you to change. Fear fuels your symptoms. When you respond in fear to something like chest pain or headache, it intensifies. Think about it. Anytime you've had a symptom and you've wanted it to go away, what did it do? It got worse, right? There's so many different ways that you can respond to symptoms, to positive self-talk, to that internal reassurance that we talked about, to gratitude, right? To challenging symptoms. I've talked about that in my videos. I've actually asked my symptoms to intensify. Anxiety is going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. If you want it to go away, it gets worse. Ask it to bring it on. Number 11, guys, avoiding exercise. This is a tough one because if you have heart anxiety and you're afraid of your vitals going up, if you're afraid of having a panic attack, this can hold you back from exercise, all right? I avoided exercise for 2.5 years. but therefore my heart anxiety, my cardiophobia got worse. It got worse. You need to get some exercise in every morning, bare minimum, like 10-15 minutes of cardio. Obviously, weight training would be great too. HIIT workouts, take a walk just to get started, all right? And you will have to get through that barrier, right, where your vitals start to go up. But once you get through it, guys, there's no better reassurance that you're healthy and that things are going to be okay than whenever you can get a workout in every single morning. Not to mention, it's going to get all that nervous energy out of you. It's going to lessen your chances to have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and symptoms and negative thoughts throughout the rest of your day, because you got a lot of that nervous energy out at the front end of your day. So start doing exercise every morning, 10 to 30 minutes. Number 12, constant body scanning. If you constantly scan over your body, all right, whether it be in the shower or looking in the mirror or just throughout your day, you're gonna find something that you're going to start to question, that you're going to doubt, that you're going to obsess over, especially if you have health anxiety. Now, I'm not telling you to be stupid and to never check out your body. Be smart. Once every few weeks or maybe once a month, look over your body and make sure everything looks okay. But if you're doing it all throughout the day, you're gonna find something, and something that anxiety does, it can actually play tricks on us. Does this vein look bigger than this side? Why does my right eye look bigger than my left eye? You know, was this always there? Was this mole always there? Is this skin cancer? I'm telling you, it never ends. So try to get away from the obsessive body scanning. Number 13, you're constantly trying to work anxiety backwards from the outside in. You developed anxiety, you had root causes of your anxiety, then you got the product of anxiety, which are the anxiety symptoms and the panic attacks, right? So now you're solely focused on your anxiety symptoms, your symptom focus, right? You're solely focused on panic attacks. So you're constantly trying to find some type of a quick fix to make my stomach cramps go away, or a quick fix to my panic attacks, or a quick fix to my anxiety-related chest pain, instead of working on the things that started those symptoms in the first place. So we start to just chase relieving our symptoms, which is natural, especially in the beginning of developing anxiety. But guys, you gotta be working on your root causes. You gotta start trying to figure out how to fix the engine, the motor that causes these symptoms. Number 14, you are sleeping in a lot. Something that's very interesting. In the beginning, whenever I had horrible anxiety, it was hard for me to get much sleep at all. But once I got past that, it's like I almost became addicted to sleep. I just wanted to sleep as much as possible because I felt like that was the only bit of peace that I could get. And although it was true, that was kind of my safe zone, my bed, right? Being in my bubble, being asleep, not being conscious, right? It kept me from doing the work that was necessary to eventually recover. And in fact, I think over time, this can make your anxiety worse. So whenever you wake up in the morning, you need to get up within a few seconds and start your morning routine. Stop sleeping in. It's wasting your time. And speaking of a waste of time, you stay on your phone way too freaking much, and it's actually making anxiety worse over time, right? This could be social media. It could be you spending time on your phone Googling your symptoms. You got the computer right there in your freaking hands. Check your usage when this video is over. Some of you are gonna be 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours. Think about what you could do with that time to better your mental health. Think about the time you could spend outside getting sunlight, which is good for your anxiety. Think about the time that you could be working out or doing exposure, right? Or meeting people in person if you have something like social anxiety, right? Social media has all of its problems on its own, from cyberbullying to this fake portrayal of what happiness and what life should look like. There's a chance that you'll be envious of the things and the lives of other people when you're scrolling down. That's not good for your mental health. Instagram is the same way. You got the search engine right there where you could search all of your symptoms up just like that. That's not good for your anxiety. Obviously, we already covered it. But just the waste of time sitting in front of a screen. Some of you are having trouble sleeping at night. You don't need to be staring at a bright screen whenever you're trying to get sleep. It's gonna cause more insomnia. It's gonna cause you to be awake longer. If you are ready to make a change in your life, if you are serious about recovery and you're ready to ditch these things and work a program and get better, check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. I'm gonna put it down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. There's a link for online therapy. Try therapy if you've never done that. And my coaching info if you're interested in one-on-one coaching calls with me. I love you guys. Like this video if you got value and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, guys, I love you all. Keep fighting.